Hey everyone, how is it going? Fridays with Dannphan and Adam.
Hi guys.
How come she's had 66.7k subscribers for a long time? Good question. My channel has stagnated a bit. But yeah, we got some news, sort of, this week. Adam, how about you react to something?
Oh. Okay.
It's very basic. Did you know that DC has made the daring move of killing off the Justice League again?
They killed them off before?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
In like a real comic or like in like a spin-off like haha Daredevil or not Daredevil, what is it? Deadpool can kill everybody or something.
No, I don't. It wasn't anything like that. It's just like kind of I guess what's the word for it? Marketing move to get people to buy comics because they're like, oh, my favorite character dies? What?
The question there, I know Marvel did it with Deadpool, but what was the DC version? I know they copy each other.
What's the DC version of Deadpool?
No, there was like a comic where they kill every character with Deadpool, and I think that was copying something DC did. I think was it Deathstroke that kills everybody in like it's like a spin-off comic that is not canon.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'd have to consult the chat to see if they know about it. But yeah, I actually theorized that maybe they're like going to keep them dead this time so they can rise up like the new Superman.
There's like that
Super
comic
Sons.
where it's like Safe Space Girl and
Yep, those are going to replace the Justice League.
she's a bunch of obese like.
No, that was Marvel, I think. Safe Space.
I don't know. Yeah,
I
they're
think that
both
was
just disasters.
because that was New Warriors. Blah. The new Warriors. Even then, why spoil an event like that ahead? I don't know, man. I guess they're like, hey, remember when we did this once? We're now doing it again, and now you're gonna really like it this time. I don't think people even liked it last time. I mean, I guess it's interesting. It's like, what if the superheroes lost? But
then you just be left with like the Z-list heroes from like DC. Like Marvel has like A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list. Like they have like lots of characters that people know, but like DC is like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and then the drop off is like 3 miles and it goes to like Martian Manhunter, and then it's like after that it's like Martian Manhunter and then like Poseidon or what was it, Aquaman, right? And then after that it drops all the way to Red Tornado is like a robot designed to spin, and then after Red Tornado it's like the Question. there's a hero called the Question.
Yeah, like the Riddler.
Yeah, he's like Batman claims that he is a better detective than him. He's like
I do kind of remember that.
It was in the cartoon, so I don't know if he's even like a canon character.
I think he is talking about Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe or Punisher kills the Marvel Universe.
Oh, did Marvel just copy itself? It's just Punisher and Deadpool? I thought the DC had a version.
He was thinking that, the DC had a version. Like Deathstroke kills the DC universe. But yeah, because now Superman has a son that they've been kind of like pushing comics for.
And it's not his clone?
No.
Because the Superboy was his clone, right?
I don't know. I thought it was his biological son that he had with Lois.
I don't know. I don't follow comics anymore. This is
a lot of confusion.
This is very ancient information that I have.
But yeah, more recently they decided, hey, let's make Superman's son gay and an activist. So makes sense that they would want him to be the new Superman.
Yes, this is gonna be great. This is like, who even buys these comics? Like,
I don't know. Remember last time when we went to the comic shop and there was just like this whole wall of nothing but like gay new DC comics?
that comic shop, it used to be full of boxes.
Yes.
It used to be, the whole store used to be full of subscription boxes. They used to have to store them under all of the tables that they display stuff in. There's no chairs under those tables. Those chairs would be in the back room, and they would have under every single table all of these boxes. And that whole box the whole long table along one wall was just boxes and boxes on it and underneath it. And then, like, Thor was a woman and Captain America was black, and then all the subscription boxes on the table disappeared. And then, just over the years, they just less and less and less. And I know Dave. There's no goddamn way he's organized enough to be like sorting them in the basement. People just canceled them. They just got tired of comics.
Right. I mean, it's just one of those things. People are definitely losing interests, and DC is definitely losing customers with a lot of these bad PR decisions.
What would you even do with comics? Like, if you like all of the comics that are just like trash, like, what do you do with them? Because I don't think it's safe to burn them, right?
You're
I'm
right.
sure they have something toxic in there, and I don't think it's safe to recycle them.
I've got like piles of comics that I just don't even want, but I don't want other people to read because they're bad.
It's literally just like homeless people insulation, where they crumple it up like for the inside of their jacket.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do you watch Ruby? I do not. I like watched a few episodes when I was a tween and never since.
I think like the trailer for like the Black, I guess that's their name, right? It's a red, white, different colors, right?
Well, that's like their code, yeah.
Yeah. So like the trailer for like the Black one, where it's like not where there's like the gun scabbard and stuff. Like, I feel like that is a good ab workout, because you like you're like and you like cringe, and then your abs like get tense. The other ones were fine. I just thought that one, like the voice acting, was something really weird about it. I liked the idea of the scythe thing, where it's like the gun, and I thought the white trailer was good, where she has the rapier and whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a sucker for glyphs. I like glyphs. Always cool.
Right. It's not a bad idea to like combine guns with weapons, but sometimes they just have like the stupidest combinations that would like never work.
I was also kind of down with the shooting the katana out of the scabbard idea. I wasn't against it. There's just something like, I think it's just her voice acting makes it feel like it's someone's like fan animation.
Watch Ruby season 1 trailers and volume 1 through 3, then stop. Never look up anything about it online. Man, barely recognized me without the iconic hat.
Wait a second. You mentioned Beast Wars in your last.
I did. To give people some clarity, the reason why I mentioned it is not just because it was on my mind randomly. It's because he put it on the TV, and I just looked at it like, ugh.
Well, because I was like, so what do you want to watch? And Trish was like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh yeah? Now you're going to get it.
But yeah, I'm not trying to like diss Beast Wars. My point in the video was just that it was really ugly, but when I wasn't watching it, I could hear the writing, and the writing wasn't bad.
I work out with my cousin over like video chat because like COVID or whatever. Like he was at a wedding like recently where people got it. So we've been working out on like video chat. He's like a trainer or whatever. I made some joke. It's like, man, that's like the we were talking about something, and I made a joke. It's like, that's like the Transformers, but it's like animals or whatever.
Right.
He was like, and I was like, do you ever watch that? And he was like, hell yeah. And he just reaches off camera and pulls over and is like, Optimus Primate. And he has an action figure, like the transforming action figure.
That's how you make the money. That's how you do it.
He's like, from off camera, you get them pulling all these action figures, and you have like every character. It's like, He was like showing me. I don't know.
You want to come over and play
It was
sometime?
so funny. He was like, yeah, Optimus Primate. And I was like, that's what he's called? They just made it Optimus Prime. Optimus Primate. That's probably how the whole show started. They were just like, Optimus Primate. Gorilla?
I mean, like, the puns are really funny, though. I gotta say. It's like, that's some grade A writing.
They're not called Decepticons now. Or like in that show they weren't called Decepticons, they're called Predacons or something.
Predacons?
Yeah, Predators.
No, well, they weren't just predators on the evil side, though.
I understand that. I don't know if they took that into account when they made the guy a cheetah.
Weren't they all dinosaurs? Wouldn't it be like something dinosaur-y?
It's a cheetah, though.
No, I mean on the evil side.
One of them's a bee, and another one's a spider.
Okay.
So
I guess when I wasn't looking, all I saw were the two dinosaurs.
Well, yeah,
I remember there was like a pterodactyl and a T-Rex.
Yeah, they took all the cool dinosaurs for the evil side, and like the spider had like machine guns on each spider leg. Very effective.
Yeah. As soon as I mentioned that on that video, the comment section like filled up with, "Oh my god, Beast Wars!"
Beast Wars!
Like people were legit.
I didn't know what it was called until I mentioned it as like a joke, and then my cousin was like, "Hell yeah, Beast Wars!" And he was like, "What do you watch that?" And he's like, "Optimus Primate." Like had all these fucking.
Yeah. It seems like it would just be one of those like obscure shows, but so many people know about it.
I mean, it is one of those obscure shows. It's one of the shows where you saw once and you thought it was like a fever dream, where you're like, just like animal transformers.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Favorite childhood cartoon channel, Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? That's a split. Do I get the third option of Disney Channel?
I liked Cartoon Network way more because Nickelodeon would make me angry with all of their slime things and like SpongeBob and stuff.
Yeah, the other fun thing I guess is that Cartoon Network had Adult Swim. Nickelodeon had Nick at Night, but it was all for the most part family shows that like kids could totally watch anyway. What are you thinking?
Oh, sorry. I was just distracted by someone else's comment. It's Optimus Primal, not Optimus Primate.
I thought it was Optimus Primate.
I could have just been. It's entirely possible. It's an interesting mental effect because it's so similar.
Hey.
And I know my cousin said Optimus Primate. So I might have just misheard Optimus Primal. Optimus Primal.
What?
So my cousin said Optimus Primate.
That would be much more clever.
My cousin said Optimus Primate, and then I hear Optimus Primal, but I would just replace it with Optimus Primate.
Yeah, I guess so.
That is interesting. They're kind of similar. Yeah, back to that question. I was born a very grumpy.
Very grumpy kid.
I always wanted more serious stuff, and I got angry at SpongeBob. I liked Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street, and everyone else made me angry.
He liked Grumpy from Snow White. You're like, yeah, this guy knows what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the angry characters, and I like the serious stuff. I never liked stuff that was made for kids. I was never young enough to like stuff for kids. Anything that was like
you like Zoids,
like Blue's Clues, I thought it was like condescending, and so like Dragon Ball Z and stuff was like kind of felt more adulty, and so I liked that stuff.
Right.
So it's an easy choice for me. I would like Cartoon Network because there was less. Oh, like I liked Mandy in Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and I thought Grim was weak and it disgusted me.
Get those kids into shape.
Yeah. I wanted like SpongeBob to die a violent death. I didn't like Patrick. Squidward's weakness disgusted me too.
You're weak.
Yeah, so I liked
beat up SpongeBob.
and I never watched a lot of Invader Zim, but like I saw like one episode, and I was like, yes. But then again, like as a kid, the TV guide was just like straight up wrong, or I was 5 and my parents were 5, and they couldn't teach me when the shows I wanted to watch were on. So I never saw like more than like one episode of Invader Zim as a kid.
Yeah, Invader Zim is solid. The thing about it, though, is that it has a lot of LOL so random humor, which was not as much of a cliche at the time, but now it's
What
like
show had-
super overused.
What show is it?
Invader Zim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the donation, Miss Renna. Hello, I'm new here and new to indie comics. I'm a comic creator as well. I've been watching you for a while. I'm back. Oh, girl, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. That's such a polite super chat. Normally it's like, well, I guess most of them are polite, but it's just like, hi, how you doing? Normally it's questions, right?
Yeah.
Or demands.
I wonder if that's the person that we did meet.
Da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na.
I have no idea. But yeah, good stuff. I guess so long as we're on the topic of cartoons, maybe we should talk about
Mummy's Alive?
this.
Oh.
No. You always want to talk about Mummies Alive.
This is like, what even channel was that had like all the like the B-list like shows? Or
It
it's
was
like
WB or something.
yeah, it's like Mummy's Alive, Ace Lightning, which would not. I was trying to make Trisha watch Ace Lightning, but then none of the episodes would load, so I went for Beast Wars. There's a bunch of shows on there that were just like Z-list. They're like Red Tornado, hanging out.
Red Tornado
hanging out.
levels of cartoons.
Just hanging out and spinning fast, like.
Yeah. So King of the Hill is apparently coming back. The original creators are forming their own animation company. So I guess man, that's quite a face, isn't it? Maybe
Yeah.
quite a picture. Looks like the annoying next door neighbor from a TV show or something.
Yeah, but I mean, he looks like he writes a comedy show. The guy on the right looks like
He'll beat you up.
he looks like he's doing like a Breaking Bad or something.
Yeah, I guess so. So let me see if I can just like skip to the quotes. We're very excited to go into different tones and different styles and try to expand the animation art form. We're in a golden age for content, right? That's animation too. That was one of the things we were talking about in founding the company.
Sorry.
Let's push animation into all these different genres. And I guess they've got like a couple different shows at the ready. But yeah, one of them is King of the Hill. And at some point, they like start talking specifically about what their plans are. Because I remember hearing somewhere that they were planning on like bringing it back, but having like a time skip in between, which I guess makes sense if you want to have like updated jokes. You would have to like have it take place now.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, from my understand, the characters of King of the Hill are going to be like aged up by 15 years and, take place modern day.
So like Bobby in college or something? Or out of college?
Or still at home being lazy. That would actually probably be in character. I do wonder, they'll probably like get a different voice actor for Bobby, right? Because originally it was a girl voice acting him, but I don't think it fits if he's going to be an adult now.
Could still keep the girl voice actor around for flashbacks though.
Yeah, or maybe cameos, stuff like that. Barely seen the original.
It's pretty decent.
King of the Hill is a pretty solid show, I think. They were bashing SJWs before it was cool. Or when it was okay to like make fun of them. Now it's not okay. Now you're evil if you make fun of them.
Someone in chat said Bobby going woke you, but I don't think, not everybody who goes to college gets woke.
No. You certainly went to a pretty far left college, and if anything, it only like pushed you to the other side.
Yeah.
It pushed you further away from those ideals
But,
because they were so mean to you. I mean, I guess they were mean to any white student there.
yeah. I mean, I think most people just keep their mouth shut and like they just keep their head down and go. And to some degree, I did. But I think, yeah, I mean, you meet people who are cool, you know, when you're at a place like that. Because I think a lot of people will like very anxiously signal their positions like early on. So if someone is just like normal, then you kind of know that they're, you know.
Yeah,
It,
I guess I know what you mean.
yeah, it's like it's kind of weird. It's like in a way, it's like you feel like you're like part of some like secret society. Like yeah. I feel like I've told the story before, but like how I had met, well, like how I met my friend John, like not I'd like known him before, like I just like from around like being in the same classes, but we like became friends because like when like Trump got elected, I think I've told the story, but
No, go ahead.
when Trump got elected, everybody was like incapacitated and like
Oh, yeah, they didn't want to go into school.
yeah, so you didn't have to go to class, right? Like they sent out an email, it was like everyone doesn't have to go to class. But you had to go to class because that day was when I was having my short story workshop for my writing workshop. And so if you don't go to class, choke you to death, right? It's like I worked hard all semester critiquing other people's stuff and reading other people's like shitty stories so that I could have my shitty story critiqued by a bunch of people. And it was so insulting that they were like, "Oh, you don't have to go to class this day." And then the teacher was like, you know, "Oh, we can talk about our feelings for a bit." And I was like, "Yeah, but we're gonna get to the stories, right?" I was like mad. And yeah, everyone was like crying, lots of crying people, lots of people like collapsed on the ground, like beside the path or just sitting down in the path crying. Lots of people on benches. I had like a moment where like there was like this guy like just rubbing his like girlfriend's back and he's like looking around
Like,
at everybody.
around, like,
and this is
what's
like
going on?
This is some dude on the baseball team. He doesn't know who Donald Trump is. He's just like I like baseball. What's going on? And like I like look at him and I go like and he was like I just kept walking.
Oh man.
But then
That's brutal.
there's like a break because it's like a 3-hour class. There's a break in the middle. And he's like, "Oh, short break, whatever." So walking down to get a drink or go to the bathroom or something. And then John was like, "So how you doing? You all right?" And I was like, "I don't fucking care." So he was like, oh, it's like a secret. He's like, "Oh, me too. I don't care." Like, God.
Let's hug and rub each other's backs just in case other people are looking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be okay. It's like,
Man,
I
that's
worked
really
hard
funny.
all semester so that I could get a critique, and like I'm owed a critique from other people. I'm owed that work, you know. And you know, a lot of people just like were like phoning it in or like just sad or whatever, and it's like we only have a certain number of classes, and this is mine.
Yeah, I paid for this.
Yeah, it's like
gotta give me my money's worth.
John gave me a great critique though, because there wasn't other people. You know, it actually worked out better because the people who were going to actually do their goddamn job gave me a really good critique, and the other people who would have just said like, "Oh, I really felt like I was there." Oh, cool, yeah. The people who just like have to say something because they want the participation grade, they didn't say anything. So.
Right, makes sense. So I guess the question becomes, since they're making modern day King of the Hill, also, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. Do you think that they're going to go the other route? Do you think like King of the Hill is going to do a 180 where all of a sudden like they're not Republican anymore, all Democratic?
That would make me sad. I think bringing it back now, probably it's going to either be
Canceled.
it's probably going to be like Cobra Kai, sort of, where it's like
where they try to
kinda-
balance it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cobra Kai did a pretty good job with making fun of it without like,
Without like making that the point of the show, I guess.
Yeah.
And then once it's like more of a Netflix show, it gets a little like
it gets a little more yeah, that was so fucking weird in the last season where they were just like, we can only have girls fight other girls, so you need to get more girls on your team.
I think like strategically, as like from a writing perspective, that's a good idea because you want more dramatic final fights.
Sure.
But they just kind of played a montage and then did all the breaking challenges. They didn't like go into what it takes to win a breaking contest. Like they were just like the fat like black guy, he had like zero form and he just like broke the boards, and it's like, yeah, it's not about whether they break. It's not like they just like put a bunch of steel girders and then they're like, yeah, snap it in half. It's always, you're always going to be able to break the wood, but like you need to have like a really good, very pretty looking form and break the wood. So it's like that would be like a 0.
Yeah. I guess getting back to King of the Hill, I do feel like it would be extremely tone deaf if they did try to do like a 180 on like the previous tone of the show.
Yeah.
Especially because it takes place in Texas, which is super Republican.
Yeah, I have high hopes.
Yeah. But, I'm sure that there's a lot of jokes that they won't be able to get away with per se nowadays.
I don't know. I mean, there's a market for like conservative entertainment.
I totally believe you. I will say, based on my own searching of their Twitter profiles, because that's a thing,
right?
One of them, Greg, is not on Twitter, and Mike Judge only posts about his shows, and yeah, basically it. Every now and then he like posts a meme or something, but it's usually just all about like his work and what he's up to.
Meaning he probably has a social media manager.
Probably. Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be on Twitter either.
But it's also like, I feel like that's a relatively professional way to like do your Twitter personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, plot twist, Bobby Hill will transition to Bobby so they can get the original VA to return. That's clever. Chess move right there.
Yeah, that is clever. I would take that as like if that was the reason they gave it, it's like, yeah, we just wanted the original voice actor.
Insane. I think it'll be woke.
Go woke, not.
Go broke. That's true. Netflix will inject the woke. Oh yeah, they might be going to Netflix with it.
Yeah, we need more like.
Ain't no way Mr. Propane and Propane Accessories is going to be in a mask in his own beer drinking fence. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I think that's true. I think he would think that was. Then again, I didn't create the character, but he seems like the type who would think that was stupid. But yeah, I do really like King of the Hill, so I do hope that they do a good job with it.
What do you think about Dale Gribble though? Like, is he gonna have new conspiracies? Is he gonna be like, I guess like anti-vaxxing is like too hot right now. Like that's too spicy. But like,
he would totally be anti-vax though.
Chemtrails are new, right? As a conspiracy theory.
How new is new? I feel like that's
I don't know.
Been around for a while.
Flat earthing has made a comeback. Although, you know what? He never really had mainstream conspiracy theories anyway. He always had like his own.
Yeah, he always had his own craziness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally see an episode where they like have to drag him into the CVS to get vaccinated or something.
What are voice acting mandates?
Sand. What?
What are voice acting mandates?
The voice acting mandates doesn't apply to women. It's not meant to keep anyone, put white guys down. I have no idea. I don't know what they're referring to. looks like they're replying to somebody, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully it's not woke. That is my takeaway from it. Like I said, I think it would be extremely risky and tone deaf to not keep the characters at least relatively the same. Like having them just do a 180 on their politics, while it could happen theoretically in real life, you know, it just doesn't seem like that would be very pleasing to the fans who just want to see their characters make a return.
Yeah.
Rather than seeing what their characters changed into. Shallow husks of what they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want to make a show kind of like, if you want to make anything like sort of timeless, like pop culture references don't really work super well. Like, you know, when you're like, you know, you're analyzing some like Victorian literature and then there's like some random thing that they say and you're like, what are they talking about? And you say like, oh, and then like the teacher's like, yeah, it has a reference to like this thing. And it's like, wow, that's really funny. Good job, guys.
Oh, this has an interesting point. Khan and Min, do you think that people are going to be pissed over those voices?
I mean, oh.
Because they're so over the top? Because remember, Apu got like canceled from The Simpsons because like that one Indian actor was offended and made a whole special about it.
But I mean, someone in the chat like hit it on the head. It's like, well, they're East Asian, so it's kind of not. Yeah, there you go. Khan, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm white adjacent? What the hell?
There's actually an episode like that where they call him a banana. He's like yellow on the outside, white on the inside. That was a good one.
Yeah,
they predicted the future.
It's not that. I mean, it depends on like. I mean, I guess Ghost in the Shell. They were like, oh, how come the white character is being portrayed as white in the movie? And there was everyone like made a big shit fit, even though no one ever watched Ghost in the Shell.
No, I know what you mean. It's the same thing with like what is it, the Kimba versus Simba thing? Nobody who defends Kimba has watched Kimba.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would know that it's clearly not a case of copyright infringement. It's just two different stories about lions.
Yeah.
Aye.
Hillbilly next door, 60 feet away.
That's good. Oh man. Yeah, I hope it's good.
Hopefully, yeah.
I hope so. I also don't want it to be depressing. It's like the newest fucking South Park season is like kind of about the pandemic and making jokes about it, but it's just depressing.
Yeah.
Like I don't find it funny at all. It's just like, wow, life isn't that great after all. Guess I'll crawl back into bed. But you know.
Yeah, King of the Hill. I also like can't like physically look at it.
Right, you hate
like,
the art
so
style.
Hideous.
It's like what I am with Beast Wars. I just can't look at it, and then I can watch it so long as I'm not looking.
So when we watch King of the Hill, Trisha will like put it on and I'll glance at it here and there to like get context like where they are and stuff. But I'll be like playing a game.
Right.
I'm not like looking at it full time. And I really enjoy it that way. Like I'm not even like kidding. Like I really like well, I don't know if you're all watching, but watching the show.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a good show. People say that the later seasons like suck, but I don't know. I think maybe they're not as good, but I think they're still good, So, I don't know. If the reboot, quote unquote, is supposed to be of the same quality as the later seasons, then I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Venture Bros came back and was decent. I don't think I don't think we finished every episode of the latest season.
We didn't, but we watched like 5 of them.
We kept on like catching. We like waited a while and then caught up. Like like it felt like we waited forever and then watched like 2 episodes and then we ran out of episodes and then we like waited forever, watched 2 episodes and ran out of episodes. And I don't know.
That's how we're going to be with a lot of anime that's coming out this year. I'm really excited to watch them all, but also
there's an
not
episode.
super excited to wait for each episode coming out week after week.
There's an episode of the doll thing.
Oh yeah, what is it? My Dress Up Doll or something? My Girlfriend Dress Up Doll? I don't know.
I feel like that
people
show...
really like that show so far, and you know it's got really high quality art. I'll say that much.
So if anyone's seen Excel World, I could not believe the male character getting with the female character.
My Dress Up Darling, that's what it is. I thought there was doll somewhere in the title, though.
There's doll in Japanese.
Yeah, so they must have, like, retitled it for the English audience. Oh. So what is your favorite medium, animation or comic? Me personally, or for both of us answering?
It's $10, we can both answer.
I love animation. That's always going to be my favorite. But yeah, I also enjoy making comics because I'm not a super good animator. So not to mention it would take way more time to create a whole series of my vision. Whereas when I put it into comic form, I can get those basic frames down and get my story across. What about you?
I haven't read comics regularly in a long time. Like I read Trisha's
manga.
Yeah, I read Trisha's comics. I read like manga, but it's been a long time since superhero comics haven't disappointed me so much that I wouldn't buy them. Because I used to really like X-Men, and like my favorite was like X-Force, where it was like Wolverine and Domino and X-23 and like Archangel. That was cool. But there's Marvel Comics is like basically just like, you know, like the political like
going downhill real fast.
Yeah. So it's like not about like being entertaining, it's just about like upsetting people and being bad. So I don't think I would say comics. I like manga, and like it's nice to like wake up and open up some like sweet little cute like romance manga and like read that.
Right.
But I think if I had to pick a favorite between animation or comics, I would say animation. Because like I think that animation has a lot of things that you can't quite get out of other mediums. And that's complex choreography. Like,
oh, that's so true. Fight scenes are so much better when they're all like animated.
Because like I envy certain things about like visual mediums that I can't quite do with writing. But I've come to realize over the years that there are things in writing that you can do that you can't do in other mediums. Mm-hmm. So I'm like happy with the medium that I've got. But I think more like live action, you have to train people for like forever, and then they still can't quite do what you would want to do in a fight scene for as far as live action. But animation, you can have extreme complexity, and you can suspend gravity just slightly and it doesn't look that weird. You know, like Avatar or whatever, you can have them do a lot more spin kicks than you could have a person do.
Right.
To get a person to do them, you'd have to throw in CGI, which is, you know, animation, or you would suspend them a little bit with like cords. But with a regular person, you'd notice it would look weird unless you make it really stylized.
Right.
I think like comics, when you turn the page and there's like a full page thing, sometimes that like dramatic scene can be really like, there was like a scene in what was it? Civil War or something like that, where Sentry, it's Sentry, because Sentinel's the big robots. The Superman for Marvel that's like not popular, he rips someone in half and like sideways, and all their intestines are like exploding out of them. And when you turn the page and he does that, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh they fucking killed the guy, huh? Okay.
Yeah, he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
I think we can confirm. Yeah, animating is super exhausting for sure. And I don't have the best wrist in the world. I messed it up very early in my life, so I prefer just doing the comics. That's fine with me. But yeah, for sure.
I don't believe that. Eventually, you're going to be doing some animation, I'm sure.
I can hire people to do the animation for me.
Yeah.
Or do those like little short GIFs. I can do those. Just not a full episode.
Yeah. That was Avengers Breakout, and he was ripping Carnage. I know he did that to Carnage, but it's not. I think it's Hercules or Ares. Ares. Yeah, I think he's ripping Ares in half. Something, or I think there's an Ares in Marvel and an Ares in DC, and the DC one is more popular. But I think it was Ares that he was ripping in half. Civil War. It's the one where the Green Goblin gets the Iron Man suit, and he's like the Iron Patriot or something like that.
The Green Goblin?
Yeah, the guy who is the Green Goblin, whatever that guy's name is. Oh, Norman
Osborn.
Norman Osborn. Like, he does the Lex Luthor thing where he's like, I'm a good guy now, and then he makes a new Avengers, and they're like the Dark Avengers, and then he has like
the Anti-Avengers.
He has like Wolverine's son Dakin as replaces somebody, and then he has Bullseye is Hawkeye, and then he replaces Thor with Ares. And I think it was part of like Civil War, and he like kills somebody by like blasting their intestines at it all over the place. But yeah,
that's quite a way to kill somebody.
Yeah, the comic that I read was a trade because I gave up on floppies like instantly. Like, I bought a few comics.
Yeah, I see that.
I bought a few comics when I was younger, and then I was like, this sucks. Because, like,
I need more.
It takes a while for you to get around to reading the comic, and you read it, and then you go back to stores, like, you don't happen to have the second one. It was like, no.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So I just get the trade.
It's so much worse when it's not even like a complete story.
Yeah. And the trade was Civil War. It said Civil War on the cover. I know that Civil War was like a gazillion comics because it was just every comic at the time was involving one consistent event.
Right.
So I don't know what it just said Civil War on the cover, and I got it and whatever. Because Civil War was what was in the game, Ultimate Alliance 2. So then I was like, oh, so maybe Civil War is a cool arc, and then I got the comic. And that's
understandable.
Yeah.
No, that's what happens. Recently, the video that I mentioned Beast Wars in, it was another one regarding the High Guardian Spice controversy. So, like, the creator came out and basically said, I know the show is bad, but it's not my fault. It was the budget that caused the writing to be so bad.
Man, you ever be so poor that you just like
stop writing good?
You just like put lead in your mouth and just become retarded.
I was actually worried that maybe I came down a little too hard on Rey Rodriguez in that last video because somebody commented in the comments section, 911, I would like to report a murder. So that's when I was like, oof, was I really that harsh? Because I've also read some of Ray's comics before they were on High Guardian Spice, and yeah, I could predict that High Guardian Spice would not turn out super great just by looking at their older stuff. Nah, you were adequately harsh. Yeah, it was necessary. Sure. Although, granted, that is like kind of a dumb excuse for the writing being so bad to just be like, well, we didn't have enough money to make it good. Because it's all just basic things like consistency or having decent enough dialogue. I mean, even if...
this was the scene I was
that's
talking about.
Oh, jeez. Damn. Yeah, put that up to there.
Yeah.
Got fucked up.
Yeah, that's an old comic at this point, I guess, but yeah, I forget who he's blowing up, but he just like he's like, I'm gonna stand up to you, and then he's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh fuck.
That's what I did to Rey Rodriguez's career. Just.
Isn't he the writer? What did he need what do you need more money to write good?
I mean, like, okay, so what the post was actually saying was like they didn't have enough time, which has nothing to do with the budget, but they were blaming it on the budget. And
well, I guess the budget, like the longer you can pay people, the more time you have, but
right, but there were time constraints on movies like Spider-Man 3, for example, that like had a huge budget. A deadline is a deadline, no matter.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a square is a rectangle, but not always a rectangle isn't always a square, or whatever.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but if he's the showrunner and he's writing it, it's not like this is like the second season, right? It's like his first season, and you should have the whole thing written before you.
You should at least have a proper outline.
Yeah, before it like launches,
Yeah, you would think. You would think. And then again, maybe that was their script, because they wrote the first episode on their own, from what I understand, and the first episode was probably the worst one.
Yeah.
And then like the other writers stepped in for other episodes. Kate Leth was a writer on the show. Do you know who Kate Leth is? God bless your soul.
Just like, yeah, like can you imagine like writing something bad and then being like, well, I didn't make enough money, so I destroyed my own reputation. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and now they're like, I mean, they're only coming out with this statement now because people theorize that they're trying to do damage control, because they're trying to push this other show that they're writing. And they want to be like, no, that wasn't my fault. The bad writing didn't come from me. We were so poor with our budget that I could only afford shitty writers. It's all their fault.
But he's the writer, so like, what is he hiring someone to be better than him? Like
the creator and also executive producer, and I'm pretty sure that they wrote the first episode. But let me check just to be super sure, in case I'm throwing out bad information out there. The show was garbage, by the way. I reviewed every single episode.
The pain.
Directed. Okay.
That's a
so it was
name?
Written by, oh my god, it took 3 people to write this episode! Are you kidding me? Nothing happened! Nothing happened in that episode! Why did it take 3 people to write that? They just wasted my time with this Trixie doing a fucking dance! I'm sorry, you don't understand the context. I know. I'm really shocked.
Is that a guy's name? Raye?
Yeah, that's a bit of a thing. So Rey Rodriguez is trans, woman to man. Yeah.
Yeah. So she spelled her name like a girl would, but made it a guy name?
Well, that's the weird thing. I don't know how common exactly this is. I'm not very in touch with the trans community out there.
Right.
So forgive me if I appear ignorant. But Ray is an extremely feminine guy, as it turns out.
Yo, you know, say.
Well, they're into like all the magical girl stuff. They're into a lot of cute things. And their profile, they're always posting like super cutesy girly things, but they identify as a guy.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. My God.
I feel like
so many people.
I feel like I'll like get you in trouble if I speak.
It's okay. we won't touch on that, okay? I feel like me even explaining it, I'll get in trouble. Because everyone's quite touchy, you know?
Yeah.
Mental breakdown caught live. That episode was so bad. It doesn't make any sense why it took 3 people to write that episode. Nothing happened in it. Fuck. And usually the first few episodes are where they dump all the budget and like attention to detail because they want to hook you into the series.
They do that with the video games too. They call it like the first 30 minutes or whatever. You want to make sure you have the.
Yeah, and the first episode of High Guardian Spice is filler. Basically, don't have to watch it. It's like they travel, and then I don't know, a fucking fantasy creature steals her locket, and then they go home.
It's okay.
That's all that happens. That's it. There's like a full minute of just this fantasy creature doing a dance. And I just have to watch.
I mean,
because they were like, "Oh my god, it's so cute. Let's make it dance. People will like that, right? They like the porgs in Star Wars."
Suffering.
True suffering. But yeah. All right, well, I corrected myself. Rey Rodriguez was not the writer. They were the director on the first episode. Still, though, it wasn't good directing.
I have to cast some doubt on Perfect Q. I identify as a Leopard Seal. Anyone who acknowledges me as a regular seal is going to get sued. However,
oh no,
that's not how you spell leopard. It's Leo.
Oh.
I don't think you're a real Leopard Seal.
Grammar police, open up.
I think he's a regular seal. Otherwise, he would know.
Yeah. In modern comics has the same issues. They make self-inserts. They make characters just like themselves, like Vita or Mags. Yeah. Raye actually had 2 different self-inserts in High Guardian Spice. Raye put the woman version of herself in High Guardian Spice, and they voiced the character.
I feel so dishonest in not making fun of how stupid that is.
No, it's
sounds like a leopard supremacist.
So you see,
it's like suspiciously German. Deep. They capitalized leopard. You know who capitalizes their nouns? Germans. You know what? R.W. Bimble, we're on to you.
Yeah, and it looks like the new show that they're working on is also another self-insert. But yeah, I didn't even realize that it was a new show that they were working on. I thought it was like a BL visual novel because that's what it looked like. It looked like visual novel style, but Okay, let's not make fun of Raye anymore. It's
yeah.
I've been harsh enough in my video.
I gotta say, like, I think the worst writing is people self-inserting themselves.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, it was so creepy when that one guy on Powerpuff Girls inserted himself as the love interest for Blossom.
Yes. Yeah, like coming from like writing workshops and stuff, you see lots of bad writers. Because when you have a class of like 30 people, not all of them are like actually serious about it. And there's a lot of people who just like insert themselves into a story.
Cough. Mandy from I Am Not Starfire. Cough. Oh yeah, that was definitely a self-insert. Granted, I don't think I Am Not Starfire is as bad as some of the other YA graphic novels, but yes, it is bad.
I don't know anything about what's inside the book, but I have seen the cover, and
that basically tells you everything you need to know.
Why would anyone actually purchase that?
Well, edgy kids who are like, man, I like superheroes, but I'm also goth, so I want to get this book.
It's like, instead
of just getting something better.
I don't think anyone who would buy that. Like, even if you're like into Starfire and Raven or whatever, wouldn't you like want, like, who pictures themselves like even someone who like identifies with those characters, like who pictures themselves like that?
You know what's also brutal is the fact that a lot of kids who are getting these books, it's not them buying the books, it's their parents thinking, oh, you like superheroes, and look, this is for teens, you can read this. And then they have to read it because they want to be polite. My mom was like that with a lot of movies she would get me. She's like, what? It's people like these movies. Enjoy. What are you reading? More leopard.
I said leopard, not leopard. I'm a new species I just made up. See you in court.
Mr. Penguin. I am not Starfire. Should have been longer. I don't think they can. Oh my god. Fucking just thinking back on it now, I'm remembering how like crazy and chaotic that was. I would still say that it had better structure than High Guardian Spice, because High Guardian Spice just had no structure whatsoever. I mean, really most things I think are better than High Guardian Spice. I don't think I can think of, on the top of my head at least, a show that's worse than High Guardian Spice.
Not even Beast Wars?
Beast Wars is fine. You just can't look at it.
Trisha is allergic to 3D animation.
No, it's...
Unironically...
You've seen it.
Unironically, I think Zoid's pretty decent.
I don't believe you.
It's fine. It's like, whatever. It's like, you know, episodes are a little slow. Like, the pacing isn't quite there. But I remember liking it when I was younger. But Trisha won't let me watch it because she's a meanie.
I will let you watch whatever you want. I just don't want to be around you when you're watching bad things. Yeah. Have we reached the bottom of the barrel with High Guardian Spice? I don't know. I really, just from the top of my head, I can't think of anything worse because it really was pretty bad. There are some people who watch it and then later on go on to say like it wasn't as bad as people said it was, yada yada yada. But I think part of the reason why they go on to say that after they finish the series is because the last episode is as good as it gets. I personally think that the last episode ended up being the best episode, but even that episode, you know, not good. But I think it could fool people into thinking that the rest was good. Perhaps, anyway. That's my theory.
There's a couple movies like that are like pretty whatever the whole way through, and then the end is like fine.
Kind of like Red Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good ending, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good ending. I just wish the rest of the movie was different. How did you do that? Yeah. Oh, Gotham High should have been longer. Yeah, and it should have ended with fucking Selena getting her brains blown out. Hot take.
Spice.
Spice. Let the spice flow.
The spice must flow.
But yeah.
Did anyone see the Dune movie? Is that good? Should I watch that?
I heard it wasn't that good, but I don't know. I guess it's probably better than the super old Dune movie because like details and whatnot.
Mother
of Madness was the real bottom of the barrel. Maybe it had better. Once again, it had better structure than High Guardian Spice, but every line that I read was just painful. So perhaps. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, the De Niro movie.
Yeah, Red Lights.
I don't know what was it. Oh, Dune. Yeah.
People are saying it's pretty good now.
I read Dune while I was taking not read it. I listened to it on audiobook while I was taking a Jewish history course. So like it was very distracting because like all the nouns for the different magical things are all different Jewish things. So just like it was weird hearing him try to make it sound like it was magic stuff when it was just Jewish stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's not. The book was sort of boring. I don't know. It was okay. It was fine. It was like kind of neat, but it just I feel like they spent a lot of time like setting up a gigantic series of like 23 books or something. But I feel like that would have been a fine book as like standalone and maybe like 100 pages shorter. But they were like really committed to making it like their thing. So
their thing, yeah. By modern blockbuster standards, Dune is good. Oof, yeah. That sounds like a mediocre review. It's like, yeah, it's okay if you compare it to the other movies.
Do they have good CGI on the giant worm?
They've gotta. I mean, you gotta put your budget somewhere.
I didn't see like any of the images for Dune. I just saw like, well, dunes. But I don't know. In the book, when they have the worm eat the first person, it really feels like the intro. It feels like a Jurassic Park scene. Like it feels like I don't know. I feel like I didn't get that much out of it reading it on paper as I would have watching it, but I also didn't care. So
right. Yeah. Daniel Cherry left DC. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. I have no idea. If you gave me like a title, that would probably be more of a thing. I hardly ever look at names unless I'm taking notes of like names to look out for buying new books. So like if I read a book by someone and I really like it, then I'll like try to memorize their names to look at what other stuff that they've done. Creative chief, go away.
AT&T owns DC.
Okay,
wait,
so
AT&T owns DC.
Overseer, yeah, of the publisher's business affairs. Okay, I see. Yeah, it's an odd time for them to exit. I don't know what to make of that. Oh, Dune seems to be boring. Other fantasy series seems to be fun. Dune just seems to be an allegory for intervention in the Mid-East for oil.
Is it? I mean, I don't know when that book was written.
Well, it's got to be written before the 80s.
Is that with Desert Storm?
The 80s was when the movie came out, so it's got to be written before then.
Oh, yeah.
But,
1965. I don't think it's a Middle East thing. It's super old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah. Indeed. But I could see how people, I guess, project current times onto things that they read and watch.
Yeah. The fact that it's not a commentary about oil, unless there's some war I don't know about, it just makes it kind of more boring.
Like if it were a commentary, then it would have at least been interesting.
Like, I don't know. I don't need you to hold my hand like super much, but they never really just tell you what spice is. Like it's a resource that is on Arrakis. And they never like tell you exactly what it is. They hint that it's a hallucinogen or that it's important for some kind of like industrial process, or it's important for like everything ever. But they'd never really tell you, so it's kind of like hard to.
I get what you mean. You need more clarification. Talon says, seen the trailer for that Cup show. Yeah, the Cuphead show. I have seen it. It looks decent enough. The animation looks good. It looks solid. Could be fun. Or it could be garbage. I don't know. I guess it depends like how good they are at taking this video game and then adding story behind it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Don't worry. Autocorrect.
Yeah, it's funny.
It finally has a release date. It was supposed to like come out last year, and they never gave us a date. And then finally, I find out that it's coming out this year. Woo! Everything good is coming out this year, or at least that's how it seems. There's a lot of good new anime, good games, good third thing. But yeah.
It's for space travel, long life, and tripping your balls off. So, I guess spice is pretty important. The spice must flow.
Yes, the High Guardian spice. So, I guess we'll call it a night for now.
Wait, the Cuphead show is an isekai? Help.
No, it's not an isekai.
Help.
No. The Cuphead isekai. Imagine the title for that. I'm
trapped in another world
as a cup
with my refrigerator.
Oh my gosh. Four Cuphead girls go to magic school to become heroes. All right. So what?
I'm just giggling. I'm still giggling about the leopard thing.
That's good stuff. I don't know if you wanted to play any games or if you're all streamed out.
No, I can play games. You got Spyro downloaded, right? So.
I do have Spyro downloaded. He got me the Reignited trilogy, so now I can play all the Spyro games and have it look pretty.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So yeah, let's maybe we'll stream a game if we're not too tired. But for now, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.